Ryan Day versus Josh Heupel. It's the SEC versus the Big Ten. It's Will Howard versus Nico Iamaleava. It's Quinshawn Judkins and Travion Henderson versus Sampson from Tennessee. And it's the inaugural 12-team playoff first year, first round. Ohio State versus Tennessee. Let's talk about the preview.
It ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The fanatic. Where we keep it 100, keep it real. That's the only way we know how to be. Talking that sports talk. You know what I'm saying? Straight out of South Carolina. Upstate, 864. Yeah. The FANATTIC. The fanatic where we keep it OG. We talking sports, so I call what I see.
Welcome to the Fanatic on the Fanatic Sports Network. I'm your boy, Coach I. Listen, man, if you've been rocking with me, you know the past 3 to 4 years been talking all the college football, but we're now trying to focus mostly on the SEC football and basketball. But that doesn't mean that we won't talk about some big games outside the conference. With that said, man, if you're new to the channel, hit the like and subscribe button, man. Share the content with some people. We're trying to bring in a lot of college football fans. Hey, man, it's a safe space, man. You can say whatever you want, as long as we don't take personal attacks. I'm good. Talk about my team, talk about somebody else's team. It don't matter. It's all good fun. College football is the best sport ever. Argue with a wall. But we here, man, to talk about, you know what I'm saying, Tennessee traveling to Columbus, Ohio to take on Ohio State Buckeyes in the first round of the playoffs. Listen, on paper, this is definitely the best matchup of the first round. And if you're looking at it, both teams can really score, and both teams' defense will shut you down. Defensively, these are two, in my estimation, two of the top three defenses in the nation. And I had to I'll add Texas in there with these three. The fronts for both of these teams get after you. They can stuff the run. And then the secondaries are pretty good, are really elite as well. Now, some of the storylines here are: can Josh Heupel get into the mix on a regular basis, like get over that proverbial hump, we would say, to be in the mix all the time? They started some seasons off really hot, had some really good seasons, but kind of in the 14 playoff, fizzled off at some point and not made the playoffs. It's their first appearance in the college football playoff era. And can they get past the first? I think just winning the first round, getting in the playoffs says a lot, but they did expand the field. I would say getting past the first round would mean a lot. Everybody wants to win the championship. I know that, but I'm just saying getting past the first round would be monumental for this Tennessee program. On the other hand, you got Ohio State. I think the fan base, if I had to gauge it by what I see on social media, they're kind of, half and half. They're like, we can win it all, but we still expect more from Ryan. Then the other half is like, we still expect more from Ryan Day. They just came off their fourth loss to a Michigan team who, in my opinion, in the last 3 years, hadn't been better than Ohio State, top to bottom. If we're talking about rankings, that's not even negotiable. Now, if you're just talking about what you see on the field, I will say 2023 Michigan was better than Ohio State, but Ohio State still has the talent. And this year, I know Ohio State fans, there's no excuse for the loss. But moving into, do they carry that weight of that loss into the playoffs? Is he good enough to regroup, get these guys together, and actually come out, head full of steam in this first round play against Tennessee? To be honest, Ohio State's record versus the SEC in the postseason isn't great. It's not that they don't win. They haven't won majority of the time. Now, the one difference is they're playing in Columbus, Ohio. And I know fans that are visiting other teams' stadium always want to, downplay the atmosphere, but it means something. If you look at the elite teams, they're really, really good at home. And part of that is because of the crowd. When you got the ball on offense, the crowd's loud, especially if they can, get loud enough to make you, false starts are big on the road. Also, when it's loud, if you're a team that does a lot of motions and pre-snap movement, it's harder to do that stuff and harder to communicate when the environment is loud. When you're at your place, it's not as loud. So a lot of teams, if you notice, don't do as much pre-snap movement when they're on the road, and that's part of the reason why. So I think Ohio State having the home field advantage is huge here. Does that mean they're going to win? You got the matchups between the quarterbacks, where Nico I think has definitely the better upside, but he's been inconsistent at times this year. Howard for Ohio State, I think he's been solid. I don't know if he's been like game changing. He has this Ohio State by far on paper has the best talent in all of the college football. To me, all of college football, not just the playoffs. All of college football. I mean, running backs, wide receivers, linemen, um, defensive linemen, linebackers, DBs. I mean, you name it, they got it. And that's not to say other teams don't have it, but they have it in spades at Ohio State. And if they don't win the championship this year, I totally think not just because they lost to Michigan. I think it's a failure of a year because of how much talent they have. So with that said, man, can Ryan Day win in one of these big games? Not like I'm not saying he hasn't won big games because he has, but in the postseason, it doesn't hasn't gone a lot, to the success that Ohio State fans may have wanted. I think the key here is can whoever has the better run game will win this game. Because if Tennessee can effectively run the ball, that's going to create. I know Ohio State has an amazing defense, but when they can effectively run the ball, then that's going to make you commit more bodies to the box. And they run that formation where they put, a lot of times they go doubles on both sides, two wide receivers on either side, and they spread them out outside the numbers, giving them that like, that option route concept type deal. And it makes you play man on man and not just man coverage, but it makes you play one on one football for a lot longer and going a lot faster. But Ohio State has the talent to do it. From the Ohio State side, can Will Howard make enough plays uh, in the pass game against this Tennessee defense to allow, I think, the run game to get off? Because if they only have the run game and not the pass game against Tennessee, and Tennessee can pin their ears back, again, both of these teams have exceptional fronts and defenses, and I don't know if you want to be one dimensional. Now, with that said, this spread is about 7.5 in favor of Ohio State. Of course, turnovers always play a key in who's going to win, who's going to lose. But what I will say is, this is what I would do if I now the fanatic college football pick'em is over. It ended, after the conference championship week. I will say it's my fourth year doing it, and the people playing have always beat me. This is my first year winning my own contest, so shout out to me. But anyway, I would say I would take Tennessee in the 7.5. I think both teams can win this game. I think Ohio State playing at home will factor into this. Do I think Tennessee will win? I don't know, but I'm definitely taking Tennessee in the 7.5. I don't think this is going to be a blowout by any stretch of the imagination. I think both teams are equipped to win this game. I think again, home field will play an advantage in the end. I don't know if that means the advantage enough for them to win, or if Tennessee can, actually get this dub. So let us know in the comments what you think. Would you take the 7.5 with Tennessee if you're a bet person, and who you have winning this game? With that said, man, it's Coach Child, man, Fanatic on Fanatic Sports Network. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Yeah.
We got it jumping like it's that valley. I call my dogs out the pound, let's go eat. Turn on the Fanatic, let's have a debate. Who really hold down the Southeast from state to state? What team hungry gonna eat everything up off they plate?